We have a comfort level in this building. We played here in the championship of the Wooden Legacy Classic. The people that ran the event, the Big West administrative staff, and the people that ran this building were phenomenal with us, as they continue to be now as we're here for the NCAA tournament. We were here in 2011 playing in the Sweet 16. So we've been in this building before. And we like the feel of it, and our goal is to come in and play not only Thursday, but play Saturday. We're excited about the challenge. We know we're playing a really good team, but we feel we're a really good team.
We'll start with questions right there in the third row.
Roger Rubin from the New York Daily News. Steve, could you tell us a little bit about the arc for Dwayne Polee since he arrived with you, the things that you felt that he needed to work on and improve, and how he has done with addressing those things?
Dwayne Polee comes from one of the premier high school programs in the nation, Westchester High School. He committed to St. John's before we had a real chance at recruiting him. When he chose to leave after his freshman year, we were his school of choice, in no small part because we had Tony Bland on our staff, who was also from Westchester. When he became eligible, he had a lot of press clippings and accolades that followed him. He was a preseason newcomer of the year, and most people said, what happened? We started this year, and he didn't play against Arizona when we played him the first time. Coach's decision, underlined, not injured. But Dwayne, and I've said this before, Dwayne is where he is now because of Dwayne's attitude from the neck up. And his dad and mom have had a lot to do with that. He never, ever did anything other than cheer for his teammates and smile when he was in the locker room. It's the hardest thing in the world to do, especially when you're that ballyhooed. He was sensational. And then when he started to get significant minutes, he played well, and obviously he's been crucial to the recent success of this team. He's been terrific. He's probably our best athlete. So some would say, why didn't you play him sooner? And that maybe it was as much opportunity as anything else. Sustained opportunity, which he now has, and he's taken full advantage of it better than anyone. But I think his success has been hugely related to Dwayne Polee being Dwayne Polee, just a nice person who never, ever says, well, I'm not getting fair shake, and on and on and on. So, but he's good.
You have a follow-up? Yeah, go.
Steve, Rick Goslin with the Dallas Morning News. How important is it to have a veteran point guard at this time of year?
It's extremely important to have a good one, and we have a good one. Xavier Thames is a fifth-year senior. He knows what it's like to sit and wait. He knows what it's like not to play as much as he wanted before he transferred. He worked harder than anybody I've ever had between year one, sitting out that year. And then he had injuries his sophomore and junior year that he didn't want to talk about, but they impacted him. He's been relatively injury-free this year, and he's been sensational. He's had stretches where he's been as good as anybody in America. And he's been on one of those little runs right now offensively, and we're hopeful that he can continue that. But he's a great decision maker, too. When he wasn't shooting well, he went like 180 minutes without a turnover, and he has the ball a lot. He's our best on-ball defender. He's our smartest player. So it's helpful to have really good ones, and Xavier Thames is one of the better ones in the country.
We're going to go here in the front row, and then we'll get the group in the back.
Karen Krause from the New York Times. How or why have you become such a haven for transfers?
I think that in today's world in college basketball, on the men's side at least, there are too many transfers. And it's well documented. I think 40% of those that sign at a school are gone by the end of their sophomore year. So there are a lot of them that leave. We have a program where transfers are on our radar. 20 years ago, 10 years ago, they were not on the Blue Bloods' radar. They are now. Take a look at some of the premier programs in America and look at the guys they've taken as transfers. So if you are selective, it'll work. And even though we've taken quite a few, we've been selective as to who we've taken. We've taken them, and the first few we took were successful. That lends itself to others saying, boy, do you see what Lorenzo Wade did when he went there? And Tony Bland when he went there. And it helps us get in the doors of others. Some of those kids are J.J. O'Brien. I was heartbroken when he didn't come to San Diego State out of high school. He went to Utah, and after 1 year, there's a coaching change, and he transferred, and we were right at the top of his list for those that he wanted to look at. So I think a lot of reasons why we've gotten as many good ones as we have.
Okay, we have 3 in the back, and then we're going to come back up front. Go ahead.
Eric Sorensen, Sports 360 AZ in Phoenix, Coach. Can you just talk about your road to success at San Diego State, building from the ground up as compared to, obviously, what you went through at Michigan?
When we came, Dutch and I, in March of '99, and I don't mean it to be disparaging, but it was apathy at best what we had. Nobody came. Nobody cared. So we looked at what we had to sell and offer, and we sold a lot of things. We sold from the pulpit where we came from. A lot of people wanted to hear about where we came from. But we said if we're not talking about San Diego State and we're talking about where we were before, 3 years from now, we're not doing enough work here. And you work. Early on, our future was in somebody else's gym. And then we talked about it. I love the kids we had. We just weren't good enough. We weren't talented enough. And it took us, we didn't win a league game our first year. We went 0-14. We didn't win a road game for almost 2 years. But I think we did it in a fashion where we didn't feel like, well, let's take 1,000 transfers and hope 1 or 2 of them can play and not worry what the others might bring with them. I thought we did a good job recruiting. We sold a vision and said, hang the first banner, and we've gone from there. We worked. I spoke at I think 75, 78 different events my first year to sell San Diego State. I had tickets in every pocket, well documented, passed them out, begged people to come. Now we're as tough a ticket as there is in the country. We've sold the building out the last few years, and it's as energetic, it's as good a college atmosphere as there is in the country. And we're playing a team in Arizona that's got a great atmosphere in their building. None is better than what we have in Viejas Arena in our building. That sells too now. So now we're selling hang a Final Four banner. And we're closer to reality to that than some people might think.
We go here on the aisle.
Damian Alameda, CBS Tucson. Coach, what stood out about Arizona in the loss to them in November?
They were good. Real good. We pride ourselves in saying we're a good rebounding team. They beat us up on the boards. They are tremendously athletic. They're obviously very well coached. We played from behind the whole game. It was in our building. We're down 14 in the first half, and our crowd kept us going. We closed to 4 points with like 2 minutes to go. We never led, and that was because of them. So they're very athletic. They know what they want to do. There is no agenda in how they play. They guard, and they share the ball. That's a winning formula, and they've got it.
Go right here in the fourth row.
Coach, the one word that Sean Miller used when he was describing your team on Sunday night, knowing that he's going to play you, was fearless. He said, those guys aren't going to be afraid to play us. Where does that come from? I know a lot of players say, oh, yeah, we think we can win. But I get the feeling that your players really think that they can win. And is that from you? Is that from something else? Is that something you pride yourself on?
I think every coach in America prides himself on the fact that you get good players that feel they can play with anybody. Part of it comes from winning. When you win, you back up talk with reality. And we've won. And we've won at various places against big name teams, home, away, neutral sites. That adds to your belief in who you are. And we've done that recently. We've done that this year, obviously. We've beaten some really good teams in some tough environments. And I think our league is such where you go on the road to these places like New Mexico and Vegas and Wyoming and others. These are hard places to play. And we've told our kids, if you can win here, you can win anywhere. So I think, obviously, winning helps. But our kids believe. And good players, you got to walk that fine line between confidence and conceit, but you got to be confident in who you are, and we sell how good we are. I tell them they're good.
Go right here in the third row, please.
Coach, you were sitting in that exact seat 3 years ago. Is there a different feeling this time around? Different team, obviously different players, but from your and the coach's perspectives, this visit to Anaheim?
I don't think so, Ben. I mean, everybody aspires to make the tournament first and then win in the tournament. And we've made it now 5 straight years. This is only our second appearance ever in the Sweet 16. When we got here the last time, I think a lot of people in San Diego expected us to have a really good team. We were rated for the first time in the history of the school. Preseason 25th in the AP poll. This year, we were on no one's radar to start the season. We got no votes. We weren't rated. We got no votes, period. We were picked 4th in our league, but we were closer to second than we were 4th, to be honest with you. We felt we could be good. But in San Diego, people were saying, well, this could be a bridge year. This can be a year where, boy, look at the class we've got coming in, and Angelo Chol from Arizona is going to be with us next year. We felt like we would be good. I don't think many people, maybe we probably, if we had to say how many games will you win, 31 wins is a lot of wins. So there was less stress on us this year because of the preseason expectations. So we slid under the radar, and I think that helped us early on. And then we just said, hey, we're good. We want to let the whole world know that we're good. And the more you win, the more that gets out there. And so last time we came here, though, we were playing a really good team. We were the higher seed. We played Connecticut. They won the national championship. I still haven't watched the tape, and I still think we were better than Connecticut when they won the national championship. So here it's a little different. We're playing the number 1 seed, and maybe the number 1 seed in the country or close to it. Not many people right now, probably other than ourselves, think we'll win. So it's a little different, but there's pressure when you come to this level, when you make the tournament. If you're who you are, you feel pressure, but it's the right kind of pressure I think that we have.
Okay, we're going to go right here in the front row. We're running really short on time, so.
Coach Rashawn Haylock, FoxSportsWest.com. What's the process been like for Akhil Quinn transitioning from a lower profile program to now contributing for you guys?
Akhil Quinn transferred from Northridge, was playing for Northridge on full scholarship. I didn't know Akhil Quinn when he transferred. Somebody knew somebody who knew Tony Bland, and he transferred in. No scholarship, no promises. Sat out last year, no scholarship. We put him on scholarship this year. And he's been sensational. He's everything you want your players to be. No ego, no agenda, but when he plays to win, and he knows how to play. He's been great for us. Been absolutely terrific, and I'm very happy for AQ.
Go right here in the middle.
Karen Kraus, New York Times. A quick follow to my earlier question. What in the college landscape do you think has changed in the last 20 years to create this glut of transfers, of kids not finishing where they started?
I think there's always been transfers. Obviously, there are more now, and it's the way of the world. We all want instant gratification. Especially the kids who are recruited to Division I basketball, they're all hyped to be better than they are. And sometimes they're not willing to roll up their sleeves and And when the pothole's there, fight through the pothole, the bump in the road. They cut and run too quickly. I think that's part of it. Part of it's the expectations of families when they're the same way at times. So it can be hard. But sometimes recruiting today, it used to be 20 years ago, the kids really got to know the coaches really not got to know the kids. Then they started limiting access. You can't call them until then. You can't talk, you can only see them this many times. In the old days, when I worked for Bill Frieder, they had 2 months you couldn't do anything. Other than that, nothing was barred from you. You could call 8th graders, you could call freshmen. Nobody likes that, but I think sometimes kids recruit or commit, they commit to the hot name or the biggest name. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're getting into, and they do it too quickly. And for a lot of reasons, they say, why did I do that? And they leave.